Hey, welcome to Will Cook Music Reviews. I'm Will Cook, and we have got a new album from Nashville, Tennessee, alternative rock group Moon Taxi. This is my second album of theirs. I may have caught the single Morocco at some point back in the day, but it wasn't until 2018's Let the Record Play that I actually dived into an album of theirs. And it's the song Good as Gold that's kept me coming back from that release. These guys definitely have that Tennessee alt-rock sound. You get a real southern flavor in the vocals from frontman Trevor Turndrup, but there's also a real pop focus to their music. And no complaints from me. I think they do a good job at creating these catchy pop-leaning songs with that southern edge and an uplifting energy to the music as well. I don't think I'd be the first person to say they sound kind of like a poppier version of Kings of Leon. And yeah, this album has me pretty satisfied throughout. There's enough hook to these songs to keep me listening, and there's only a couple songs on here that I'm a little meh on, and that's the two latest singles with One Step Away and The Beginning. One Step Away is the closing track, not counting the instrumental outro, and it's okay. I just find the stomping snare beat of a chorus to be a bit monotonous and lacking some of that tender feeling I get from some of these other songs. It leans into a more soulful rock sound like what you'd get from the Black Keys, which I'm sure could make this a favorite for some, but I've just never been too big on that kind of sound. And The Beginning I can appreciate instrumentally as it brings in this kind of funky edge with the organ keys and this scratching guitar, but it's ultimately a pretty tiring chorus. And then in the pretty good category, I've got Above the Water and Say. Above the Water gives you some somber piano and some backing choir vocals, and the hook takes off with a nice push of synths and keys. It's about that one that helps keep my head above the water, and I like the mood of the song, but I guess it just doesn't really lift me off my feet all that much. And then the song Say has a big energy to it. It's about the brightest point of the album with a celebratory attitude. It kind of touches on these fits and the tantrums vibes. I can make your hands clap. With its stomping shouted chorus and the clap beat, I just find it a little too friendly and bubbly. This album definitely has me appreciating the more sentimental or darker tones, and there's a couple songs of note when it comes to those. Live For It is on the sentimental side of things with a wonderfully moody atmosphere. It brings in these light EDM elements that jump in and out through the song, and then it uses these dreamy stargazing synths with the melancholic light guitar work, and it really swells to create some of the strongest and most thoughtful feeling of the album. And then on the darker side of things, I find Lions holds a cool, dark energy. It's a rally cry of a song, and it's an encouraging message, but it's delivered with a real stern attitude, and I find it's a bit angry and tense, which I enjoy, and along with the dancing, almost tropical synths, it's a very rewarding listen. Take the Edge Off is a lot of fun with a moody vibe and a bump and beat, one of the most infectious hooks of the album. Again, you'll notice the EDM elements in it, but I find they just kind of help add to the mood of the song. And then after that, there's just the first chunk of the album to mention. Opener Palm of Your Hand is about the friendliest things get on the album, with a very sweet, kind of beachy melody. Not too much grit to the song, but the chorus is very charming and super infectious. But Light Up introduces some grit with its grooving thick guitar and the swell of a chorus. It's got these dancing melodic synth keys to it that remind you that it ain't no rock song, but it's definitely the most dense guitar you'll find on the album. And yeah, it's got a good push to it that makes for an encouraging go-getter kind of song. Keep It Together sounds a little more chipper than the lyrics would let on. It's about struggling to keep it together, but the hook has a real nice driven energy to it and one of the strongest sing-along pulls. Though the backing synths, they still hold a bit of melancholy to them, and it makes for a nice balance of feeling. And saving the best for last, it doesn't get any better than the lead single, Hometown Heroes, a wonderful song led by a ukulele and a soft thudding beat. The chorus drops in for a beautiful effect, and again, they bring in these EDM elements that help lift the song even higher, giving it that gut-stirring emotional tenderness that kind of makes me feel like I'm walking on the clouds. And that's it, an overall pretty strong listen that brings in these pop and EDM elements in a way that I find complements their sound rather than take away from it. And like I find with most of what I listen to, I'm definitely drawn towards the thoughtful and more emotionally heavy songs on here, and I'm happy to see that they provide a good amount of feeling throughout the chunk of these. So I've rated each song, I've crunched the numbers, and I've settled on an overall rating of 7.2. Now that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you for checking this out. I'd love a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Hit the subscribe, I got more on the way, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to chat. I'll see you next time.